Hey guys, welcome to Passionate Lives. On this channel we do tips and strategy videos on how you can improve your mental well-being, as well as interviews with passionate people about the kind of things that inspire and motivate them to do the things they do. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We are putting out a video every weekday, Monday to Friday, so if you subscribe then you'll get all the videos that we're putting out there. In today's interview I talked to Jodie Goddard, who founded the Facebook page The Life Network, about the kind of things that inspire her and why she created this new Facebook page. I hope you're inspired by this interview and I look forward to speaking to you at the end. So thanks for joining me, Jodie. Just if you can introduce yourself and just explain a bit about your background.
Okay, so my name is Jodie Goddard. I grew up in Kwinana my whole life. My background is in community services. I've got a diploma in community services through TAFE, 18 years ago now, and since then I've worked with homeless youth with Mission Australia. I've worked in employment services for like over 10 odd years. I've worked with disabilities, which is what I'm doing now. So I've worked in a range, and mental health, Indigenous, ex-offenders, all those sorts of things.
So you were kind of doing the case management and then the reverse marketing, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the whole lot in employment services. I like the fact you start in a journey. When they start, they come in, and then you actually guide them through, and help them. And because of who I am, I guess more my extra knowledge, I love information and I love helping people. I'd always refer them to services or give them information, and it's good to know that services were being used out there, especially mental health services, I found.
I guess what's the biggest need that you see in that kind of sector?
In employment services, I see actually the need for reform. Don't want to get into trouble, but what I feel is it's gone away from the core duty of the service, which is to assist people in finding employment, and instead it's become more clinical. And it feels like there's a lot of onus put back on the job seeker, and I don't mean that they shouldn't look for work, but there's not so much of giving information, and there's not so much sort of marketing people. It doesn't matter whether you've been out of work for a month or 2 years. If there's a job, that person's suitable, because as we know, it can take only a couple of weeks to feel miserable in work. So I find that that's the biggest lacking. It needs to be have all the contracts and the rules, but it needs to be more like a community service as well. And I know it can work because that's how I was taught.
And I guess when people come into employment services or Centrelink, they don't always have the skills to look for work. They don't know what to do, and so it does make sense that employment services then provide that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also, you could be the only contact with people. So yes, our role is to get people a job, but it's also to make sure that they can keep that job. So in keeping that job, they may have mental health issues, they may have court appearances, they may have lack of skills, like you said, like the whole kit and caboodle. So it's up to us to make sure that we get them on track in a way, and that's kind of what's been lacking, I think, is the journey to help them get there. It's not hard, it's just, I guess it takes practice because I've done it for so long, but it can be done, and with the right servicing, it's amazing. We have all these dips in unemployment, but if you have the right servicing, during that time people are accessing services, they're working on themselves, they're gaining skills, instead of sort of the common scenario where you go in, they're like, what have you done today? And the reason why they're there is because they're on unemployment benefits, and even if they're applying for 100 jobs, they still need a hand, they're still on the dole. That doesn't change.
I guess one of the common things that I kind of came across is people thinking that employment services would actually do a thing for them, and so they'd come in and like, well, they didn't help me, and I guess you've got to get that balance between them doing it and also...
That's right. Could be as simple though as picking up the phone when they've rung. I've found that people have always sort of said they don't get that sort of thing, so just acknowledging them and giving them the call to say, I'm so sorry I didn't get around to doing that. However, you know, it's still a professional role and it's still a service. So, you know, they're classed as clients. It's our caseload to look. They're people we look after and help on their journey. So that has never changed. People, like, contracts may have changed with the government, but the way we service people shouldn't change. It should always be like that, no matter what, because that's the whole core of it. If you get people moving, get them up, get them out of bed, even if they don't want to work yet or they can't work. If you get them motivated to move forward, and, you know, hopefully at the end they might go to school, they might engage in volunteer work, they might go for a job and get that job that they wanted, and that changes their whole world, no matter what. You know, I find that helps people even that have drug addictions or issues, because they're busy. A lot of things are from boredom, and you get stuck in a rut. Doesn't matter how professional you are, if you lose your job, you're going to get stuck in a rut. There's only so many applications you can apply for, and only so many rejections you can handle. So it's really important that employment services, you know, really helps them and is there for them. There's such a shift in, how it used to be to how it is now, to the point where I'm not even in that job anymore. The job I love, the job I was made to do, because I'm different to how they want to see things now. Yeah, like I believe when you walk in, there should be always good information available, resources, you know, and you should know what, have newspapers and have a job board and
Going back to the traditional
and have those meetings. Like, I would see any random client that I'm on the computer, I'd be like, what do you want? And they'd say, I want IT, and I'd be like, oh my God, there's a job. And they weren't my client, wasn't the point. The point was that they were there looking for work, and I knew of something that could help them. So if you don't have a passion, you shouldn't be in the industry.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that you get so many rough patches if you don't have a passion.
That's right. It's become very clinical. People look at it as a negative. And also, it really needs to be a positive environment. I worked for one employer that told me that she wanted a very clinical environment, and to, you know, like, nice and quiet and calm and structured, because you don't know what these people have been through. But yet, me being me, no, I have a positive personality. I actually work with people I used to work with where I learnt how to be like that. So it was kind of, poor lady, she wasn't ever going to succeed. And the attendance, not just from me, of course not, from the whole team, from our vibe, the attendance, people started coming in, or they let us know what was going on in their lives. And when they let us know, I can't come in, things like that, and why, we were able to stop the repercussions of that and actually get them the help that they needed. And that's really important. You know, like, it stops the negativity. Yes, nobody wants to be told what to do, but some things you have to do in life, and that's something you have to do. So why not make it a pleasant experience? And so many of these places, you know, they're negative, you see them, they're all about on the thing, they've got no, well, one lady didn't even look at me when I went in for a thing, and that's quite hard for me to take. Also, being on the other foot, shoe on the other foot, being so passionate about the industry, is when you do go into a place yourself on the other, you know, and you're the person needing it, and, you know, you look at the job board and the jobs are a year old, you know, and you ask a question and, they don't know what, they can't answer you, and, you know, ask them if there's any jobs available or any marketing, and I was blown off, and, you know, just because I was stream A. So, and I might have worked in the industry for God knows how long, but I still need a hand. Everybody needs a hand in that situation, and the more people that can help you, the quicker you are going to get to your destination, especially if you need a job. You know, it takes a team.
And so you kind of came out of that last year, I think it was, isn't it? And then you started the Facebook page. So tell me how that came about.
I was working on Garden Island, and I was one of very few people, so around the country, that was to go into the transition centre where soldiers go to leave. So before they go to leave, they would just fill in paperwork I always thought they got help, but the structure was more paper orientated because it's a defence force, and we all hear about suicides and defence personnel in the mental health, and like wonder how does this happen. Well, it seemed like there was a gap from transitioning out of the service into the community. So basically I came along to help the staff there who were learning to be career mentors. And learning to be career mentors, it goes back to community services, the employment services. They were also learning about referring them for mental health issues, knowing about crisis centres and homeless services for veterans, accessing counselling and welfare assistance, and learning all those things so that if they called them up and they could tell that something wasn't right, they would have the tools in place, as well as guiding them into the right career, which was really cool. But I wasn't there to, it was kind of hard because I wasn't there to help clients, so my job was to get all my resources up, and this is why the Facebook page started. I used to get contacted randomly on LinkedIn and all that, just from employers or former clients asking me, do you know where jobs are at, or do you know where I can get any help with this and stuff, and gaining so much information on Garden Island. I was like, yes, I've got this lovely room I've displayed it in, but I'm a sharer because sharing is caring, and I have to share what I know. Like, if I find something cool out about a service, I'm like, oh my God, there's this place and you can get help, like tell all your clients. And I had no one to tell. So I kind of thought, well, if I start the page, and I started a group as well. So the whole idea of it, the group was meant to be more like a local Perth sort of thing, and the page is meant to be more about services, accessing things online. Well, not even online, what's out there. Because what I find is people didn't even know where to go to claim, a HUGS grant, say that you can get a subsidy for electricity that anybody can get. A lot of people still don't know. And I'd known about that for 10 years. So I was kind of like, oh. And then there was other things like, do you know where your welfare assistant places are? And you might have been in hardship for the last 2 years and didn't know there was a church down the road that could help. So it sort of came about like that. But then it's taken a bit of a life of its own. Like, I actually schedule my posts in. I don't post them like that. People must think I sit there going... No, whenever I sort of have a look, I actually schedule it and book them in so that they get on the page. And I forget a lot of times. I'll go, I put that on there. So I try to put information about all types, anything to do with life. The Life Network name came from, I had this awesome idea for an organisation, and I still do, where it's like a one-stop shop, like a community kind of a centre, but where you can get help with jobs even if you're not on the dole or you're not entitled, a bit like Employment Directions used to be, where you could walk in off the street and get your resume. But also I wanted to run workshops and run like life organising programs where you'd actually...
Like budgeting and...
but also go into people's homes, because what I found was a lot of people that find hard to get jobs, unfortunately, have got themselves into ruts, and when I'm unemployed, I clean my house less. I don't get up as much. It's weird because you've got all this time in your hands and you do less. Yeah. So you kind of end up
busy
cluttered.
People are very busy.
I know. So I figure, like, if you can actually start by decluttering their world, and that takes away a lot of the stress, but also putting things in place like having the right clothes and making sure that if you don't have shoes for the kids, you go refer to the right service, like actually having a look from the core out. It's a bit of a huge epic idea, but the whole purpose of it was to guide people through, but it's about learning about all aspects of life, and I also believe that knowledge is power, and I'm not smart at all. I'm street smart, I'm educated, like barely, so to speak, but I like knowing about world issues. I like watching documentaries. That's how I've learned, and I've learned how the world works. It blows my mind at where we're kind of at in the world at the moment in Australia, and I'm so proud to be an Aussie, but then there's the other side of it as well, So I think if we can learn about stuff like that, and educate ourselves, we can only be better. So the whole point of it, long way short, but you know, getting to that point is somewhere where anybody can actually post, but no one does.
That's the kind of thing you need to kind of start encouraging.
Yeah, I have said it, you know, but nobody does. So I'm like, okay. But the whole thing of it is you take what you want from it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm lucky that it doesn't look like I get many likes and that, but I can see how many people see it, or else I wouldn't keep it going.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. Like some posts have been shared and end up being shared like 10,000 times, a couple of them, and I was like, what? Wow. And it could be simple things too, like, you know, your Centrelink system, or something like, you know, a blog about how to do your budgeting, or accessing Equal Opportunities Commission or something, and it just blows my mind how much it spreads out. It's hard because we have all this access to the internet, but we sit there and we go, oh my God, I've got tenancy issues. What can I do? Yeah. And it's kind of like, well, it's hard for people to sort of put that in motion and go, okay, there's got to be something out there. So if we put on there like the tenancy advisory service, you know, someone might take that and use that. That's the whole purpose of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just one last thing, right? If someone is kind of struggling in the community, what would you advise them to do?
Struggling in what way? Just in general?
Just in general, maybe with work, something like that.
Well, with work, I've actually struggled with work myself. I've nearly burnt out with work. So I think first off you should be able to go to your team, like your manager. Yes, I know it's the protocol. It sucks if your manager is the one that you don't want to talk to. So from there though you can access hierarchy, but every good employer should have an EAP program. Yeah. And everybody should be able to...
What the EAP
is Employment Assistance Program, and that's where you get to access counselling that is not from your service. So say if you're a counselling service, it wouldn't be run by them. Yeah. And most employers should offer that, and you get so many counselling sessions free. So that's a start. But I would also look at yourself. It's very hard to look at yourself as well. Do some work with yourself. I would try and mediate with that person. I would try and transfer. If you love the company, try and get into another office if it's killing you. And if
that
not,
small thing can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
To different people.
Or start to look for something else that's going to fit you, and it is hard. You know, I know what it's like to see an amazing service fold, like be closed down by government, like you haven't got the contract, you know, and then I've seen others that aren't so good, so I can see how certain people would struggle, whereas I had all the support, all the encouragement, and I had a rough time, but I was managed through it, whereas other services, they might not be, you know, so.
Cool. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks so much for joining us, Jodie.
Not a problem.
Hey guys, that's all we've got time for today. I really hope you were inspired by the interview with Jodie and encouraged to take action on something that you feel passionate about. Jodie's background was all about helping people find work, you know, and the whole Life Network concept was around sharing resources, not just staying with us, you know, information with herself, but sharing it to other people and encouraging other people, inspiring people as well. So I really hope that if you've got something that you're really keen on doing, like a group that you're really passionate about, that rather than just thinking about it and dreaming about it, you actually take action and do something about it. Please leave some comments down below about the kind of things that inspire you and motivate you, and what would you do if you had the opportunity. Also, I really encourage you to hit subscribe. We are putting out a video every weekday, Monday to Friday, so I really encourage you to hit subscribe and join our family. I look forward to speaking to you in the next video.